Very good morning, all students. Today we are learning the next part of chemical thermodynamics, and the next part is process. Up to this part, we have learned different definitions, just like system surrounding, then type of system, etc. We have learned this all the systems, type of system and system, all the definitions. Now we have to learn process. See, what is the process? You know that up to this point we have learned this is the system. This is the system. We also have learned the state of the system and change in the state of the system. This system is changing from one state to another state. We can say that this system is present in the state 1 and it changes to state 2. In earlier videos, we know that when we are going to say the system is going to be changed, the condition is that here at least one of the thermodynamic parameter, in other words you say state function, at least one of the state function, the value of the one of the state function should be changed, then and only then we can say that the system has changed from state 1 to state 2. So here it is also the process is something related with the change in the state of the system. First I will write you the definition of the process and then I will explain you what is the process. So here process, any operation which changes, any operation which changes the state of the system is called a process. Is called a process. Now you see here it is that important. The important thing here it is the change which changes the state of the system. Any operation, ये आपकी सिस्टम है, इस सिस्टम के ऊपर आप कोई भी ऑपरेशन करो, जैसे इन अदर वर्ड यू कैन से ऑपरेशन मीन्स यू आर हीटिंग इट और यू आर कूलिंग इट, you are compressing it or you are expanding it, whatever. There is a change in volume or there is a change in pressure, there may be change in temperature because of heating. In any way, you can do any operation on this system. Suppose you have taken some water in this vessel and you are heating it, so you are doing the operation. You are doing the operation. So कोई भी ऑपरेशन, लेकिन वही ऑपरेशन को हम प्रोसेस करेंगे जिसकी वजह से the state of the system is changing. The state of the system is changing. You know what is the state of the system? You know what is the state function, and when and only when you can say that the state of the system has been changed. कब आप बोल सकते हैं कि सिस्टम का state change हुआ है या नहीं हुआ है? We have learned in earlier classes that what is the change of the system, state of the system, and then next very important part of this chapter we are going to touch here. We are going to learn the type of process, types of process. The important part of this chapter, types of process. You know, have you got it? The process उसको कहेंगे जिसके वजह से जिस ऑपरेशन की वजह से हमारे सिस्टम का स्टेट बदलता है, दैट ऑपरेशन इज कॉल्ड एज ए प्रोसेस. एंड नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न टाइप्स ऑफ प्रोसेस. हियर देयर आर 5 टाइप ऑफ प्रोसेस. फर्स्ट इज isothermal process. Isothermal process. I will write you first. I will tell you the meaning of this isothermal process, okay, and then we will learn. We will write down the definition of isothermal process. What is the meaning of iso? Very simple. Chemistry is a very simple subject. Here we have to go through the meaning of word itself. The meaning of the word itself implies the what should be the content of the definition of this type of process. Iso यानी same, thermal यानी temperature, ऐसी process जिसमें temperature same रहता है. In the another word, you can remember like this. What is isothermal process? Isothermal process is a process in which the temperature of the system remains constant. So here it is a very simple way. You can say that any process, the definition I am writing here, the definition of isothermal process, any process during which the temperature of the system temperature of the system remains constant is called isothermal process. Here you got it, the meaning of isothermal process, where it is type of process जिसमें temperature same रहता है, constant रहता है यानी same रहता है. That means here the temperature is not going to change at all. The other factor may change, but we have restricted the temperature to do not change. That means in the initial state of the system and in the final state of the system, the temperature in both states will remain same, will remain constant. That means if you find out changing temperature, that is delta 2, what is delta T? Delta T is T2 minus T1, T2 minus T1. T2 is the temperature of the system in state number 2, T1 is the temperature of the system in state number 1. So according to the definition, here the temperature is not going to change, so the both value will be of course same, and here it will be 0. So in isothermal process, delta T remains 0, and another factor of the system, that is internal energy, which is also depend on the temperature. Here the temperature is not going to change. That means of course internal energy will also not change. That is delta U. That is change in the internal energy will also be equal to 0, because the temperature is not going to change. Internal energy will definitely not going to change. So these are the two conditions of the isothermal process. This is the very first process you have to remember, and from the exam point of view, this portion is also important. From the exam point of view, you may get the definition of isothermal process, or you may get some different question on this topic. So the second proper process we are going to learn here is isobaric process. Isobaric process. Here again, iso means same, बारीक यानी pressure. You may get confused कि बारीक यानी कैसे pressure हुआ, because you know bar is one of the unit to measure the pressure. So this bar is related to the pressure. So here iso means same, bar means pressure. ऐसी प्रोसेस जिसमें प्रेशर सेम रहता है, that process is called as an isobaric process. So here we are writing down the few definitions, and you will find the magic that the process, the definition are equally same except the underlying word. सिर्फ ये एक शब्द बदलता है तो डेफिनेशन प्रोसेस बदल जाता है, डेफिनेशन बदल जाता है. Here the same process, I am here writing the same process. Any process during which ऐसी प्रोसेस जिसके दरम्यान during which the, here it is the temperature but here it is pressure, the pressure of the system